Doggone it, y'all. Here we go again. Drama, drama, drama. I'm really starting to hate South Carolina, but doggone it. Come along with me. I'll tell you why right after this. Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to my channel. This episode, we are in Yemassee, South Carolina once again, at the Oaks at Point South. Give you a little indication of what the place looks like. That's pretty much it. We'll get you back there, see some alligators in a little while, because there's plenty of them in that lake back there. But I want to tell you about the adventures that we have whenever we come to South Carolina. I'm gonna tell you, South Carolina's bad luck for us, I guess. So we stopped here at this point right here. When you go in, this is you stop at this stop sign, you go in and register. They tell you what site you've been assigned to, draw on the little map how to get there, and then you proceed on to your site. So when we arrived, we went in, spoke to the very nice lady in the office, Beth, and was told that we are on site 71. I confirmed with her that the site was big enough for my rig. I explained to her that I was in a 45-foot motorhome. And the last time we had come here, the site that she put us on was completely inadequate, and we ended up having to change sites. She said, nope, no problem with this one. It's 60 foot long, and you should have no problem getting there. So the route that we're taking right now is the route that I was instructed to take. So notice we have a no pets allowed sign that's probably 4 to 5 feet off the side of the road. So you can get in this area right here probably without having to worry about tail swing for that sign. That sign's been hit so many times, it's unbelievable. But you got this big tree that's right here, and right on the side of the road. So you have to avoid that. Now that road over there is where she told me I needed to turn. So there was a camper on that site right there where the squirrel just jumped off the picnic table, on site 67. He was there, and he was not very far in off the road, so I had very little room there. I got this tree to worry about with the tail swing. I'm all the way over here as far as I could get, and I came all the way down here to this 5 mile an hour sign that you can see has been struck a couple of times, but not by me. But when I come by here, my side view mirror was about right there. So that's how close I was to this tree. So I had taken up every bit of room I could over here. And if you can see the tracks in that yard right there, you can see that there's a makeshift fence put up there, apparently to keep people from having to use that little bit of space. But as you can tell by the tire tracks, I had no choice but to use some of that space, and it did end up pushing her fence over a little bit, which I came back down and straightened it out. And then the lady in the office came back down and straightened it a little more than I did. But you can see from the tracks, and this is my tracks over here as well, but I'm not sure if that's mine. I think this big track right here in the middle is mine. Now let's keep in mind that the tire, this is probably after I backed up, because I did back up a little bit once I got over there and realized that I was up against the side of the fence. I backed up and tried to give myself a little bit more room, but there was a camper that was right here that did not allow for me to have much room, but I got as close as I could get to that one and eased on up this way in order to make it around that fence area there. So then we continue down this way. Now keep in mind, we're talking about a 45-foot motorhome with tag axles, and this is the road that I was instructed to take. I'll put the picture up here so you can see the picture that she drew out for me on the map, the route that she indicated for me to take, and which is exactly the route I'm following right now. There's the back of my rig. Barely enough room there for my Jeep to park and be off the road, and that's only about 8 feet wide. I think I've got about 1.5 feet on the other side of it before I'm up against the camper. This place is not known for drainage, I'm gonna tell you. It's always soaking wet whenever we're here. But as you can see, looking at the side of my motorhome, I now have some new battle scars, because this is where I caught that little fence and scraped along the side of it. So I don't know. I mean, it's this one of them deals where I enjoy coming here because it's a very like a city park kind of vibe thing here. It's got a lot of trees, a lot of shade, and the lady in the office is really friendly, nice lady. Although when I went in and talked to her about the damage on the RV, she seemed to be not the least bit interested. So, but you can see the front of my RV is right here on the edge of the road. I put a little section of fence there that might actually be borderline on the road, but I had to have enough room to allow the dogs a little bit of room, and there's not much here. We even encapsulated the picnic bench and the bikes on the inside of the pen to take up as little room as possible. Still need to be able to access the basement doors on this side, but at any rate, so she seemed to be not too concerned about the issue. So I'm gonna go in this morning and insist on filling out an incident report and see if I can get that, because this is my thoughts on the situation. When I'm coming to a campground and you're assigning me a site, which I'm very thankful that they do assign sites now, so I think that is a very good move on the part of Thousand Trails. But if you're assigning the site and you have employees that work there, I think it's the employees' responsibility to know and understand the sites that they're managing, and to be able to correctly identify sites that are capable of housing big rigs like mine. So I was told when Beth did finally come over and look at the site and see, I told her at that time, I'm like, I pointed to the site, I said, this is not 60 feet. I said, my RV is 45 foot from front to back. I said, the front corner of my RV is right even with the street, and the back of it is probably 5 foot from the, or maybe it's 9 foot. So that'd be what, for 54 feet tops. And she said, oh no, our maintenance staff came out and measured it. I said, well, I don't know what he used to measure it with, but I'm thinking that Chinese ruler that he's got is no good, because this is obviously not 60 feet. And But at any rate, the 60 feet part doesn't even matter, because I did manage to get on here. That was no easy task either, because I had to avoid the travel trailer next door to me over here, and the tree that's back there, where I have the cargo caddy thing locked to. So it was pretty tight, but I did get it in here. But when she came over to talk to me, she offered me the option of going over there where that, I guess that's a Fleetwood, is sitting now, where the red Jeep is at. And I explained to her, I'm like, look, that site is no longer than this one. And because I had expressed to her a concern about being able to get out of here, because if you look, I got these two little oak trees here. I've got a oak tree over there. I've got the way the RV is pointed. I'm supposed to come out of here and go this way down to the end. Now, I don't know how that's supposed to work, especially now that Fleetwood is here. If he's not here on Sunday when I get ready to leave, then it won't be an issue, because I'll be able to just take up a lot of the room over there. And I think by the time I get over to a point, I should be able to swing this turn without hitting that tree. And if I can't, I can always go straight through that lot or this lot and come out on the other side over there and go back down and circle around that way. So but at any route, at this point, I am not a happy camper. I'm a pretty agitated camper, because it seems like every bit of damage that's, well, with the exception of the front corner right over there, every bit of damage that's on this RV has come from poor maintenance at 1,000 Trails Park. The other side over there was the last time we were here at the park we just left, actually, was Fairplay, South Carolina. That is the Carolina Landing, 1,000 Trails. Again, very nice staff there. It's an older park. The roads are narrow, treacherously narrow, and I even ended up running over a water pipe when I got into the site there. No way to avoid it. The concrete pad that was poured in the site. In fact, if you've seen my video about Carolina Landing, previous video from 6 months ago, that exact site where they put me is one of the sites that was vacant when I was doing my walkthrough video the last time we were there. And you can see how high up the concrete pad is. And so it was so high up I couldn't drive up onto the pad. So I used as much room as I could and got as close to the pad as I could in order to get into the site. But as it turns out, it was not enough to clear the water pipe that was sticking up at the back of the site. So I clipped that, broke that off, and I ended up helping the maintenance staff get that put back together, so the water would stop flowing. But last year, 6 months ago, and this was not. I don't hold the campground responsible for that, because I arrived after the office had closed. It was actually dark. It hadn't been dark long, but the sun had gone down, so the visibility was down low, and I was not given instructions to go the route that I went. I was pretty much, they gave me a site, they gave me a map, and I missed a turn that they had indicated on that map and tried to go up a different route, and kind of lost my bearings on the map a little bit and ended up going down a circle that they probably would have not sent me down, because they probably knew that they had a stump right alongside the road. So now I know that they have a stump right alongside the road, because that's all the damage on the other side. But now I've got damage on both sides of the RV, and this one I feel like the campground is responsible, because they indicated which route for me to take, which site for me to be on, and told me that there would be no problem for me to get there. And they also allowed the lady on the corner lot up there to build that fence. Why, I don't know. But she told me that they do allow their full-time residents to build fences if they're on a corner lot, because they're not going to encroach on their neighbor. Well, no, they're encroaching on everybody that has to come that way, because there's no way a 45-foot RV can make that turn in the conditions that I had to work with a camper being there. Now with the camper not being there, I might could have made it. I mean, I could have just stayed over there close to that tree on the corner, and kept coming forward until I cleared the fence, and then cut it left. But with a camper being on that site, there's no way. There's just no possible way that thing was going to make it. But you don't really realize these things, and it's not made apparent to you until you're halfway through the turn, and then it's like, what, you can't back up. I mean, you can back up, but it's that's when you run into real problems, when you start backing these big things up and not being able to see behind you. So, but at any rate, so I'm gonna go down and fill out an incident report this morning, have that on file, and I'll probably end up calling Thousand Trails and explaining everything to them, and seeing if there's anything they want to do. And I'm sure there will probably be nothing they want to do. They're probably going to tell me, well, you were driving the RV, but yeah, I was following the instructions that I was given when I was driving the RV. So I feel like, at any rate, that's what I feel like. I'm sure they feel different, as is often the case. But so I'll get back with you in a little bit and see if we can get a little something done. Maybe take a walk around the pond, see if we can spot some of them gators back there. So stick with me. We'll be back in a little. All right, y'all. So I just went over to the office and spoke to the manager, and told her that I would like to write up an incident report, and was met with the urgency as if I had told her that the wind knocked one of my flower pots off the picnic table. Apparently, the damage to the side of my RV doesn't mean anything to them. Means quite a bit to me, though. So I tried to call Thousand Trails as well. Actually, when I told the lady at the office that I wanted to fill out an incident report, she asked what for, and I explained everything to her, and I told her that I was directed to come down the road that I come down, and with the situation being what it was yesterday, with the RV parked right there in that first site, that there was no way that a 45-foot RV could make that turn. And she proceeded to argue with me and tell me that 45-foot long rigs make that turn all the time. And I told her, again, with the situation being what it was yesterday, with that RV being right inside that first campsite, and I got some photos of that. I'm gonna include that along the way with this video, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But I reiterated to her that with that RV sitting there was no place for me to go. I didn't have enough room to continue straight forward, so I had to keep turning to the left, which put me right up against her fence. So, and I explained to her that, I have a CDL license and drove tractor trailers when I was in the Army. So it's not a matter of I don't know how to drive the RV. It's a matter of, the directions that they gave me in order to take to get to my campsite left me no alternative. It would pretty much, they routed me right across the fence as far as I'm concerned. But at any rate, I just thought I'd catch y'all up on that, and hopefully I might make it back to see them gators here in a few minutes. So I'll take y'all along. So follow me, and just in case, if I get too close, y'all can call 911. I don't know how you're going to get that information before I edit the video, but you'll probably hear me screaming. All right, follow along, and hit that like and subscribe button. It doesn't hurt at all. Okay, y'all. Made the trip around the lake. Didn't see the first damn alligator this time. Alligators confused the heck out of me. We came here last in February, and we were able to see, I think we were able to count like 17. I understand there's 22 or 23 that are known to be here, and we were able to find 17 of them in February. Now, it's like late August, and they should be swimming all over the top of the water out here, but I don't see any sitting up on the bank, sitting in the edge of the water. I see nothing. I seen a couple turtles, and I seen a couple of what they call them flowers, lotus blossoms, I guess, that bloom on top of the lily pads in the water. Those aren't even bloomed fully yet, but I think I did take a picture of one of those. Didn't get any pictures of the turtles because they're all the way on the other side of the lake, and I don't have the still hands to hold the camera steady enough to get a good shot of them, so it wasn't really worth trying, I guess. But yeah, it's a relatively pretty lake. Notice this lake, there's like 3 separate ponds out here that are joined with equalization drains, I guess. Keep one from getting too high, that drains off into another one. So, and then there's a little one down here in the direction I'm headed now. And that little one, the last time we were here, was green and in February. But, you know, it's South Carolina, so. And there was a lot of beer bottles and stuff floating around in it. It was really discouraging to see that, because I hate to see beautiful, picturesque waterways ruined by some schmuck that can't figure out how to carry his trash out with him when he finishes fishing. But any rate, no alligators this trip, so headed back to the camper. Gonna go get some groceries from the grocery store, if I can find a grocery store. This place is in the middle of nowhere too, but I guess Beaufort is probably the closest town, so we'll ride into Beaufort and go to a grocery store, pick up the few things that we need, and see if we can't find some more adventure in the bustling city of Beaufort. So stick with us, and we'll be back when we get there, I guess.